Hey guys, welcome to Geek and welcome back Mr. Miguel Balmaceda.
What's up?
And we have a very special guest tonight, it's Mr. Vince McMahon.
Oh, well, you know.
I know, we have Mr. Cyrus Fernandez joining us for the first time. And guys, I wanted to talk about, unang-una sa lahat, Fastlane. Mix, you first.
I sat through it last night while working. Hindi siya kayang... You can't sit through it just watching it. It was... it was a very long, bad episode of Raw.
No, I was in Fukuoka last week and it was there when it happened. Uy, nood ako. I was subscribed to the network anyway. And
for $9.99 a month.
Biglang, the first match I saw was Jinder Mahal? Huh? Hindi to.
That was a big surprise.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Respect to him, but weird. Jinder Mahal. What did you think about that?
That was weird because it came out of nowhere. Like, di ba hindi siya slated eh?
Pag-ibig lang siya?
Oh.
There was a sort of a segment earlier that nag-aaway bigla si Jinder Mahal and Rusev. They were arguing about something. And then, okay, you guys get matches. Nothing planned out of nowhere.
That's it?
Yeah, that was it.
It didn't even start like as a Twitter feud, like how they set up some stuff.
Yeah.
So, but if you ask me, I watched the two matches. They were pretty good matches, relatively speaking, for the very low base that we're setting for Jinder Mahal and probably a big show match. Because to be honest, if you ask me, if they set that up on an episode of Raw, I wouldn't have minded. It would have sort of made sense if it's lead up to something else. But on a pay-per-view, wherein you have other potentially good matches like extending a Joe Zayn or a Neville Jack Gallagher match, parang it's a waste, sayang in time eh. It would have been an opportunity to showcase these stuff.
I think I was reading Bleacher Report. So it was predictable already. I don't know, it was sorry, I was watching What Just Happened.
Oh yeah.
In What Culture. So see, Adam was saying hindi daw okay because they were already setting it up that it's gonna be a fast main event.
Yeah.
Putting these filler matches like Jinder Mahal. Big Show was there also, diba?
Yeah. He was the one who took on Rusev.
I don't think I was able to watch that because
there was.
I tuned out. Was that after the?
Immediately after.
After Jinder Mahal and Cesaro?
Yeah.
Yun. So Fastlane, I think, was one of the worst pay-per-views in recent months for me.
Yeah.
I think in the last year, yun yung worst.
I'd have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah, and what's strange is, considering it's the last pay-per-view to WrestleMania, for like the past 2 or 3 years, Fastlane has been pretty bad pay-per-view.
Because was it last year when Fastlane was just a filler, parang exclusive to the WWE network, it's not gonna be shown on TV.
I think it was a regular pay-per-view, but I think they were setting up for the Triple H Roman main event. So
because they tried to experiment at the Dean and Triple H in that main event.
That was a roadblock.
Roadblock. Okay.
Roadblock in December, and then
all right.
I forget what happened in Fastlane last year, pero it was basically foregone conclusions as to what was going to happen lead up to the WrestleMania.
So it's really clear that SmackDown Live is the far better show.
Oh yeah.
Than Raw.
Because they're story driven. But it's a wrestling show.
You know what helps?
What?
Your Facebook status updates. Ang galing ng SmackDown Live.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and I think
it's not too long.
It's not too long, and I think one of the things that siguro when you look at the Monday Night Wars and how they wrote it, and one of the key things that stood out there was then it was a wrestling program doing TV.
I watched that.
Yeah, SmackDown Live feels like it's a wrestling program that was being shown on TV.
Yeah.
Unlike Raw, I think is a...
So parang silang Nitro. Are you saying that?
To a certain no, Raw is becoming like Nitro.
That's why.
Yeah, it's like what I wrote here. They're dependent on really big names that are to deliver the draw.
Yeah.
But there's not really a lot of character progression because these guys already built, they're established as to who they're supposed to be. So there's no real character progression as they go along. Like, supposedly, who Roman Reigns is from the start of the draft, he's been practically the same guy. Even if they underutilized the whole suspension thing, they underutilized the whole...
I already forgot about the suspension thing.
So, you'll see na parang there's really not a lot of progression. The only thing the only characters that have had significant progression right now have been like Seth Rollins, from the shifting from the comebacking heel to the face slowly moving, and the Jericho stuff, which is more, I think, Jericho than the creative. Yeah.
My question, guys, I talked about in our group, no. Seth Rollins, is it a legitimate injury?
All signs point to it being a legitimate injury. I mean, even the legitimate news sites have been saying as much.
Yeah, and I think the build-up was supposed to be Seth to take on Joe in Fastlane.
In Fastlane.
As a parang drop the jack to get to the king type of deal for WrestleMania to get to Triple H. But since he was really out, they had to switch it up and put Sami Zayn in as a parang to play his usual underdog role.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. I mean, he's so good and he's being so underutilized.
Yeah, actually that's one of the questions I asked guys. Looking towards WrestleMania, parang they really don't have anything for Sami Zayn.
For Zayn.
They even don't have anything for Samoa Joe yet.
Yeah.
You don't have anything for Braun Strowman unless they get him involved in the Reigns Undertaker stuff.
Yeah,
but
Raw's just bad.
Yeah.
It's written as if that the matches and the names would carry and create the stuff for themselves.
And I think the difference between Raw and SmackDown is, and I read this somewhere, Raw depends on big moments, and that's it. They rely on big pops, and like you said earlier, using the big names.
Parang the intro of the show and the finale. That's it.
Yeah.
And everything in between sucks.
Yeah, something like that. SmackDown, on the other hand, they are, in the truest sense, they are the wrestling show. Because they feature more, well, except for the tag team division. They feature more wrestling. And most of the talking they do on Talking Smack.
Just the pure talking.
Talking Smack.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at how SmackDown utilizes regular segments like contract signings and everything. Yeah, there's a little bit of talking there, but it usually is a very, very short segment. Probably because they're a 2-hour show. Unlike if you look at Raw, they really draw it out for an entire segment, cut commercial, then probably start another match.
It's just too long sometimes in Raw.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it shouldn't be too long because they have so much on their roster. They have so many people on their roster that are really underutilized. And adding on to what Cyrus was mentioning earlier about how Raw relies on big pops. The women's division, they've lost 2 opportunities for people to win their first title. Like,
which ones?
Sasha won her first Raw women's title on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been because of a ratings issue. So fine, you can provide that. But Bayley also won her first title on Raw.
Yeah, which was weird.
Which is very, very weird. And then they wasted Charlotte's PPV winning streak.
Yeah.
On Fastlane, the best pay-per-view.
Oh yes.
So they come into WrestleMania with all their bullets done.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no real big build, and
for Raw at least.
For Raw at least, and even actually I watched Raw on the way here, and now they're even including Dana Brooke into the whole multi-woman match.
Oh yeah, she's a babyface now.
Yeah.
What?
Which is weird.
I thought you were gonna say, "Oh, I like her now."
No.
Like Lexi.
Well,
it's Alexa.
There's only one blonde wrestler, female. I'm not talking about Ziggles.
Ay,
Hell no.
sorry, question also. Before we go to SmackDown, let's finish siguro Fastlane muna before we talk about
Yeah.
the road to WrestleMania. I really felt bad that Charlotte lost. I don't know why they had to cut the streak.
Me too.
And it ended at what? 14? 15?
16?
16.
But it's...
Oh, maybe they were just gunning for that
16
number because
with, with the daddy.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. But it's a waste Kasi Bailey is good as a chasing babyface.
Yeah, that's true.
So...
Kind of like a Jack Gallagher.
Yeah, Jack Gallagher or the female Sami Zayn.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So if she's an underdog and she's just Bailey, and then you bring her and you have her win on WrestleMania, it's inspirational to a certain extent.
Okay.
But if she wins on Raw, Chamba, I don't know, and then what? Charlotte wins again in WrestleMania. I doubt that they'll do that again. Pero
No.
it's all a mess now. Because now there's 5 people in a match, as opposed to if they want to level the women with the men, which is supposedly the long-term intent.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get that big money fight that's 1 versus 1. Last year already was a sort of a cop-out that they had 3 girls, the triple threat, but it was making a statement that these people are bringing in change, so okay, fine. But now, it's just, it's the new Intercontinental Ladder match. I just dump everybody else that has nothing to do at that point.
I like that, the new Intercontinental Ladder match. That sucks, in last year. But good for Zack Ryder.
Yeah.
But that was it.
That was it.
At least he got his picture taken with Scott Hall.
Scott Hall.
Yeah, and that was it. And that story wasn't set up. There wasn't... For example, if they had shown packages of weeks before that, Zack Ryder has never heard his entrance music in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And then there's something that you want to root
I
for.
saw that documentary.
Yeah, as opposed to not, parang, he won. Bye.
Okay. But also, the other thing that I hated about Fastlane was, ang galing na nung Festival of Friendship I like that segment.
Yeah.
And I felt that Jericho, I kind of felt that he wasn't acting the part when he was saying thank you, I really had a good time. I think it was the real guy talking to Kevin Owens, saying that I enjoyed their time, and then Fastlane, you give it to Goldberg.
Yeah.
I would have rooted for an Owens Y2J for the Universal Championship or the US title in WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think it sets up a similar problem to what they had when they had Brock beat Cena SummerSlam a couple of years ago.
Oh, that squash match?
Yeah, that squash match. I mean, he's a part-timer, but you're going to put the belt on him.
Yeah.
So, and considering that now supposedly, based on the poster, they're prioritizing the Raw belt over the SmackDown belt.
Yeah, that's
a weird debate and something that's going to be very one-sided on this.
So it's kind of like when The Rock won the title from CM Punk. You knew that Cena was going to get it in WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, like, we know that Brock will drop it to Lesnar, and then the question will be again, who and when will Brock lose it to?
So it's guaranteed. We can say now that, is it safe to say that Brock will win against Goldberg?
Oh yeah. I mean, he's not going to job to Bill forever. I mean, he already jobbed out to him like twice, Survivor Series, and then Rumble.
Give the can Goldberg retire as a champion in WrestleMania? But I was thinking they're gonna give that to Undertaker.
Yeah, they should give that to the
Basically, there hasn't been any. If Flair didn't retire as champion, if Michaels didn't retire as champion, I don't think Goldberg, who has wrestled a combined 3 minutes over the past 6 months, will end up getting that, because it's just too. It discredits the new belt thing.
Yeah, that's true. And besides, I don't think Vinnie Mac's going to give that honor to Goldberg, because let's not forget, Goldberg is a WCW guy.
Yeah, and he is the actual WCW product. I mean, he's the only one that I think that WCW really grew from the WCW power plant all the way to the world title.
Yeah.
he's the real big
And
name.
Brock is really a WWE guy.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
And he's all throughout OVW all the way up. So I don't think that's
Sorry, the new
Ohio Valley, which was their developmental territory then.
before.
Yeah.
And bata siya ni Vinnie Mac.
Oh,
Yeah.
recruited talaga siya.
Okay.
Because Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men.
So, I don't know. Parang it's a question of who and when he will drop it to. But the question, if you really think about it, I mean, Brock doesn't need it also.
Yeah.
He already beat Undertaker at WrestleMania. So you don't need to put a title on him anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question will be, who's?
Okay. I'm
But-
kind of worried that this topic's we're talking about Raw, it's getting boring.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess we need to move on.
Yeah.
We don't want to lose some listeners.
Yeah.
It's just like that. But si Hub kasi, Mr. Pacheco wanted us to talk about potential swerves that we think can happen.
Potential swerves.
Like
a very good
Balor's
question.
in the fold now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see him entering WrestleMania. Parang ganun. But ako, I want to talk about stop talking about Raw.
I think maybe we should move on to SmackDown.
Sige.
Then let's go back to Raw and we'll talk about
Alright.
WrestleMania